Hi everybody, how are you tonight? So we are together here for our first peel party. We can actually see you guys, so this is so much fun. I hope you guys are ready to do some peeling. I'm all ready. I have my face washed. I've got all my goodies here, my ice water. I'm ready to go. And I know we have some people still coming in. They probably will be coming in for a while, so we'll just let them in as they get here. And so, well, just in case, anybody doesn't know, when you had a friend send you here, I am Jennifer. I am the president here at Platinum Skincare, and this is Dora.
Hello there.
I feel like we're doing a live again. Then she is our office manager and extraordinaire. So tonight, what she's going to be doing is, like, if somebody has a question, at the bottom of your screen, you can click to raise your hand. We can, click on you. We'll ask you to unmute. You can ask a question live and then we'll answer it. Or you can, of course, ask a question in the chat down there. We'll go over those as well.
Oh,
hi. All right. So let's just think about. First, we always want to make sure we cover everything. So let's just talk about prepping really quick. So if you want to do peels and you've never done them before,
right.
We want your skin to be prepared. We want it to be able to heal quickly and turn over quickly. So we want you to use things like retinoids or acid serums like our Serum 15 or 30.
Yes.
Antioxidants. SPF every single day. And if you have ethnic skin, when I say that, I mean someone with like olive skin or more,
right.
or darker.
Yes.
We want you to prep with things like Fade Bright for, 3 to 4 weeks before you do a peel. And this will make sure that you're gonna have a much lower chance of getting PIH, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And that comes from when you put like a strong acid on and your skin goes like, and gets inflamed a little bit.
Right.
And that can cause hyperpigmentation. Just like if you have a pimple, it's a swelling. When it goes away, you're left with that mark.
Right.
That's PIH as well. So we want to avoid that as much as possible.
This will suppress the melanin, and it will greatly reduce that risk.
Yes. And this is our new one too. So just so you can see what it looks like. It kind of looks the same, just a white bottle now.
Yes.
So what else? Let's see. Oh, yes. And we want you to stop your things like retinoids or your strong acid serums between 4 and 6 days prior to doing a peel.
Right.
And there's a little window there, of course, because, go ahead. Mm-hmm. There's a little window there because, if you're doing a super light peel like a mandelic or lactic, you don't necessarily have to wait 4 to 6 days because, that'll be almost like you're not doing anything for a whole week. But at least 2-3 days before.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody's different. Some people can go longer. Some people can, take less time. But that's fine. Whichever works for you. Just, we don't want you to get too deep of a peel, and that can happen if you're using strong retinoids and strong things like that, and your skin is like really thin at that moment, and then you put a super strong peel on, then you're going to end up with a peel that is way stronger than you anticipated. So with that out of the way, let's talk for a second. I know that there was a few people that wanted to do multiple things, like, I want to do an eye peel, I want to do the cross, I want to do whatever.
A cross and a peel.
A cross and a peel, right? So, obviously you want to do those one at a time. I never suggest having multiple acid percentages sitting here and you're going, well, I won't mix them up. I'm going to do my eyes and just don't.
Yeah.
Just do one at a time, pick your eye peel percentage. And I suggest you always do your eyes first. Do your eyes, let's say you did 3-4 layers. You waited your 5 minutes, rinse everything off. I suggest you put a little bit of product on your eyes, your healing oil, your emu oil, and then that area is nice and protected, and then you can move on and do, the rest of your face. Or if you're gonna do the cross, you would do that first, So you're gonna do, here's our little picks here. You would take your cotton off, saturate that, do your cross. When that 5 minutes is up, you don't have to rinse, anything like that. You can just move on to doing your face peel. So just wanna make sure that that order is in there. And like, let me know if you guys have questions. I think we can see if you raise your hands or if you're typing anything in. I kind of have a little thing so I can remember to go over it all.
Does anybody have a question before we start?
Right.
Let's see.
Like click your raise hand. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so right here. All right. Is it Armel?
Yeah.
All right, so I am going to ask you to unmute. Okay.
Hi, so this is my, can you hear me?
Yes.
We can.
All right, it's my first peel, and I hadn't planned on doing cross is with a toothpick, right?
Yep.
But so if I want to do it today, I only have the TCA 13. Can I do it with the 13, or that's not even worth it?
Well, you certainly can, because you're doing that action where you're kind of pushing it hard into there a little bit. So I mean, I would go ahead and do that once or twice, and then go ahead and do your face peel.
Correct. Yeah, the goal is to get the acid on the interior wall of the ice pick scar.
Yeah.
So make sure your, toothpick is nice and dry, or not dry, but not dripping. You don't want to get a lot of exterior solution.
Yeah, but I mean, with the 13,
Yeah.
it's not so
Yeah.
harmful. There's nothing
Right.
terrible
No, I
about
think
that.
that's
It's going to work.
That's fine.
It's fine. Is it better if you have a higher percentage? Yes, of course. But, hey, it's your first time doing that. It is fine. And so, when you're done with that, and I did have a little note on, people ask a lot of times, oh, well, I want to do the cross, and I'm doing the Jessner, and I'm doing the TCA all at the same time. So normally, if you're only using TCA and you're doing the cross, let's say you have your 30, you do that, and then you just go right ahead and put your TCA on. It's not unbearable by any means. What I find, and this is not like a law or anything like that, but what I find is like Jessner is so stingy that if you were to put that on top of a cross, I feel like that would be really extremely irritating. So I would suggest that if you're doing Jessner and TCA and the cross, that you
Yes.
do your layer of Jessner first, then do your cross, and then go ahead and move on with your TCA peel. I think that's probably the most comfortable way to do it.
Perfect. Okay,
All right.
We have one more question.
Oh, one more,
let's
Shelley,
see,
who doesn't have a
Shelley.
question, probably.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me ask. Do I have to spotlight her first, or just
Oh,
ask
just
to
ask to
unmute?
unmute, I guess.
All right. I just asked to unmute.
All right.
Hello.
Hi.
Jennifer and Dora.
How are you?
Yeah. I'm good, thank you. My God, it's really nice to talk to you. For today, would you suggest maybe for people who's not there enough to do the Jessner, would that be okay for them to do salicylic acid as well plus TCA?
I've definitely, looked into this a little bit.
Yes.
Now, obviously, Jessner is, salicylic and lactic and resorcinol.
Yeah.
So could you technically do a layer of salicylic first before you do a TCA? I mean, you could. If you've been doing TCA for a while and you've done salicylic before,
Yes.
and you want to do that layering, like, you don't have your Jessner, so you're going to use salicylic
Yeah.
in its place. I think you could do that comfortably.
Do you
Obviously,
have
don't
the
rinse.
15? Do you have the 15 salicylic? Oh, can she?
I do have the Jessner. I just crossed my mind.
Just asking.
okay,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yes, often, yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe if people wants to have like mandelic, but they wants to do Jessner, salicylic at first, and then mandelic. I'm not sure, but whether is this peel sessions exclusively for TCA, I'm not sure, but yeah, just in case if people want to jump in.
Oh, yeah, no. This is for all different peels, not just TCA. Jennifer is doing a TCA.
Yeah, I'm going to do a TCA just so we can talk about layering and demonstrate how layering goes. But it doesn't matter what
Yeah.
peel you're doing. We all start the same way.
Yeah, the first layer is the same pretty much. It doesn't matter what acid that you're using.
No, not at all.
Thank you, Dad.
Thank
All right,
you.
no problem. Carry
Okay.
on.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so obviously we all have a clean face. We've talked about the orders that you can put those on. And I mean, we might as well just get started.
Yeah. Why don't we?
I think.
Perfect.
All right, so I have, since I'm gonna do Jessner. See, now I have Jessner on the brain.
Right.
Since I'm gonna do TCA, I have Prep B handy. We also have Prep A, which we like to use if it's like a lactic or mandelic, salicylic, glycolic. The difference between Prep A and Prep B, like Prep A has a little bit of glycolic in it, and then it's, the super strong alcohol, like 90+%. Prep B doesn't have the glycolic, but it has some phenol in there. And phenol can help to numb the skin a little bit, so it can be more helpful for the stronger, more irritating peels. Now, if you have one or the other, it doesn't matter which one you use. I just wanted to
Right.
say that. A lot of people, I only have Prep B, but I'm doing a lactic. It's fine.
Or
It's-
isopropyl alcohol, of course.
Yeah, so there's your other option is at least it's
It
preferable.
stings, doesn't it? The isopropyl stings a
It's
little bit. I see a few
preferable
fanning.
if you have like a 90%, 99% I've seen, or also what's the other one?
Witch hazel?
No,
No, we don't normally recommend
no
that
witch.
because
No,
it
witch
has,
hazel has like
it
glycerin or
has
something in it.
more moisturizing factors in that one.
Yes. All right. So I'm just gonna saturate my pad here, and all the areas that we're gonna do the peel, that's where we want to make sure that they are squeaky, squeaky clean. I generally kind of use 2 of these gauze. It works best for me, and kind of fold it in half so it's a manageable piece. And then just like when you apply your peels, you want to go from the top to the bottom, and then down your temples, and then go across, down your nose. You kind of want to do horizontal, and wow, it's like these are almost worse than the peel.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
got
like
some bite to it.
yeah, they're terrible. They just smell. Woo! And if you want to do your neck too, you can go ahead and clean that area. And you can obviously go down onto your chest as well. I don't know, I have a somewhat lower shirt. I can probably do a little bit here. Not a whole lot. But most people, have sun damage and all that kind of stuff, wrinkles, lines, everything's going down your neck and onto your chest. So it makes good sense to do that. But I also want to mention that obviously you have your face, you have your neck, and your chest. Now, your neck and your chest, yes, technically it's a body part, but it is actually thinner and more prone to irritation
Right.
than your face is. So you usually want to do a little bit lower percentage or less layers on your neck and chest. So just to get that out of there, so we want to make sure our face is nice and clean, and that was our stripping that we just did.
Oh, I see somebody putting
Oh,
the
we got a-
Vaseline around their eyelash line.
Oh, that's, yeah, see, and I normally don't do that, but gosh,
Excellent.
thank you for even doing that, because that reminds me, I don't generally do that, but I'm always just very careful where I put it. But if you do have sensitive areas,
Or if you're going to do the eye peel, for sure.
if you're going to do the eye peel, if you've done a cross, if you had a wound, a pimple, something
Yes.
healed, and you don't want to get acid on it, go ahead and dab a little bit of something. Don't put too much, though, because when you're wiping your thing over, you don't want to end up sliding Vaseline and stuff all
Right.
over your face. You just need the tiniest, tiniest little bit.
That's perfect, though. That's great.
Yes. So, all right. So we go ahead and we strip everything, and now I'm opening my TCA here, and I do find it's easier to just, pour it into something, and then, I don't know. I've done it both ways.
Yes.
I'll either pour in there, or I'll just keep saturating it.
I've done it both ways as well. Yes.
From here. Either way works fine. I feel like you can get it a little wetter, if you put it in here. Okay, so that leads me to a very, very, very important thing, because we want the gauze really wet, but we don't want it dripping, right? So I'm gonna give it a little light squeeze, but I'm not wringing it out. We still
Right.
want it wet.
And this is a non-woven gauze, so
Yeah.
it is not as porous, or it doesn't pick up as much as like a cotton round or something like that would.
Yeah, cotton is no good when
It'll
you're
take
doing
too
peels.
much solution,
It
yeah.
takes way too much solution. So when we have a little timer here. You can probably like
Oh,
minimize.
yeah.
Oh, you can see the timer. So first we're gonna apply it, then we're gonna start our timer.
Okay.
So is everybody ready? We're gonna do it, same thing, going from the top down.
Yes.
And then if you need to get some more, go ahead, get some more. Just make sure it's not dripping down your face. But when I wipe this on, I can see wetness. We wanna make sure that we're seeing that your skin is wet. And then go down your temples and your nose, and then just I like to stay, I would say about a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch away from your under eyes, just to make sure that you don't get too close to there. Oh, of course, then my hair's not
You want to make sure nothing pools up in your eyebrows or anything like that.
Yeah, and you don't want anything pooling. I'm kind of like going in. Sometimes it's a little easier to just go in from the sides. And when you want to do your upper lip, just kind of
Everybody's
like
doing so great. I love this.
like put your lips in, roll your lips in so you can get like close to your upper lip
Yes.
line, and then go across there. You get that really good. Now I need a little bit more solution if I'm going to do my neck. So I'm going to wet it again and then just make sure it's not dripping. Like I said, I am not wringing this out. I still want it to be wet. And then I'm going to go down my neck. And if you don't want to do your neck, you do want to just kind of blend it in a little bit. I would go down
Feather it down.
Just feather it down a little bit if you don't want to do your neck.
All right,
I
I'm
can
going
kinda
to
do a
start
little
the
bit.
timer
Oh,
then.
yeah, go ahead.
at
Time.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah, wow. So what can we talk about in our 5 minutes? Now that it's not like a video, we have to sit here and wait our 5 minutes.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
Is because it could be stinging. Yes, stinging is normal. Stinging is okay.
Okay, let me
Depending
see.
on the acid, it can sting more or
All right,
less.
Lana has a question. I'm going to
Hey,
ask
Lana.
you to unmute, Lana. Okay.
Hi, do you have any suggestions for upper lip lines when you're doing a peel? Like,
Yeah.
maybe a longer treatment there?
Yes. So we have our lip peel kit. Well, here's our eye peel kit. But like our lip peel kit, let's say you just want to target that area. You could use, with that kit, we give you the TCA 20. So you can just do kind of like your upper lips and then these lines right here. That's what you can focus on. Now, if you're doing a face peel like we are right now, let's say you have the 13% and you've done layer 1. Let's say maybe you only want to do 2 layers on your whole face, but you really want to focus on those lines. We'll go ahead and do like a 3rd layer on just that area, leave the rest of your face, and then maybe sometimes even a 4th, just do more layers on the areas you want to target. Same thing with scars,
Yes.
hyperpigmentation. A lot of times people like to even just do more across our
Yes.
horizontal lines here. That is okay. You can use a Q-tip if you want to get really precise. One of these little wood picks have the cotton. If I wanted to get really precise and inside a line or something, I could do that. Just make sure if you use a Q-tip, that's cotton. It really soaks up a lot of solution. Make sure that you would rub that on the side of your cup so it's not dripping. There's a lot of solution.
Yes.
And so when you're understanding let's say how TCA works, it's the percentage that's important. It's the amount of layers that are important, but it's also the amount of solution
Yes.
that is important. So that's why we like to make sure that, yes, we saturate our gauze, but then we kind of squeeze it out. If we have a nice even amount and it's not dripping, then you're going to be doing really safe layers. And I would rather see somebody even do 5 dry layers
Right.
than do 1 super drippy heavy layer, because that's where you run into problems. And something is, it's all red and things like that.
Well, let's talk about what they should be looking for at this 5-minute mark.
So, with the milder acids, you generally don't see frosting, but let's say glycolic, it can make your skin pink, especially if you're,
Yes.
really sensitive. And actually lactic, I find that stings quite a bit.
I think lactic does too.
I think it
yes.
really stings for an acid that really doesn't cause any flaking. It's almost like painful for no reason. And then the mandelic, that generally doesn't cause any kind of frosting. But what frosting is when those proteins in the skin, they get coagulated, and that's exactly how TCA works. It coagulates the proteins and it shuts off. So it's like a self-neutralizing peel. So what frosting is it would be like, you see little white speckles or like a washing of like a white. And that does make me want to say something as somebody is doing a Jessner. A lot of times when the Jessner solution dries,
Right.
you will see white and you'll think, oh my gosh,
I'm frosted.
my whole face is frosted.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's just the dried salicylic on there. And you can tell very quickly if it is frosted by either, taking a little dab of water, and then if you like wipe and the white goes away, it's not a frost, because a real frost is going to stay there for
Yes.
anywhere from 15 minutes to a half hour, an hour.
Yeah, usually about an hour, your normal color resumes.
Then, yeah, it might get a little bit pink, things like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But, that's it. So we're coming up on the 5-minute mark. So if, like, let's say this is your very first time you've done a peel and you're doing like the mandelic or lactic, glycolic, whatever it is, you can go ahead and, you can rinse at this 5-minute mark. Or, of course, you can leave it on longer. We have people that will leave the mandelic on. I usually say, add on maybe 5-10 minutes extra at a time with these lower acids, so you're not irritated. Oh,
Nope,
there.
time
Oh, and it
is up.
stopped all by itself.
I
Good.
see somebody fanning, and that is a great thing.
Yeah. Yes. What are you putting on
Yes,
there?
fanning helps a lot, and that will help, definitely.
Yep. And now, if you're going to put another layer on, let's go ahead and get that ready. If you're not and you're going to rinse, then go ahead and rinse. Like me, I have some, I'm not by a sink, so I have my
Ice
washcloth
cubes.
and I got some ice cubes in here. But for now, let me grab my gauze again. I like to just reuse the gauze a lot of times because then I don't waste so much solution because it's already
Correct.
wet. So I'll just kind of re-wet my gauze. And speaking of which, like if these, I might need a bottle because I've
Another
used a
vial?
lot of this. Want to grab me another bottle?
TCA 7?
7. Yeah, I'm doing the 7, so I'm not extremely irritated today, and I can actually talk without fanning myself and dying. Yeah, just give us a little bit, another one. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm gonna go
Thank you,
ahead and
Casey.
do my next layer, but what I was saying is you can, so we're just gonna put it on the same thing. Obviously, we're not gonna rinse. You can use numbing cream ahead of time. We have our numbing cream that we carry here that works really great. I actually used it today, and wow, like it really numbs.
Yeah.
I say like, yeah, I can feel this, but it was really super good, that first layer.
Yeah, and basically you just apply that. Jen had a nice thick layer of the,
Very thick.
lidocaine, prilocaine?
It's lidocaine.
Lidocaine, yes.
Yes, lidocaine.
Nice thick layer. It was white when she first put it on. After a few moments, it kind
Yep.
maybe about 10 minutes, it was, you could see through it. And then
Yeah,
she
yeah,
said,
it
yeah,
kinda
my
was
face
drying.
is numb.
Yeah, oh my gosh, my face was so numb. It's not so numb anymore.
And we
I
sell
think-
that on our website too, so.
Yes, we do. That's great. I keep wanting to look. Oh, I have some right here. I'm gonna grab it.
Okay,
Yeah, we have
there we go.
this one.
Yes, there we go.
This is great stuff right
Yeah.
here.
It's a big tube too. Like this will
they're-
last you forever. It's 6 ounces.
It is humongous.
Yeah.
The ones that we used to have, because obviously we were a full service spa back in the day, there was just like a 1 ounce tube.
Yeah, it was a small tube. Yeah,
and it
this
was like almost the same amount as this one costs. So crazy.
All right, so do you got your next layer on? Oops.
I do. Oh, did you forget to time? Well, we're gonna have to pretend we're timing it for actually like 4 minutes. We'll
Yeah,
stop at 1
yes,
minute.
yes,
See,
sorry.
that's what happens when you're talking.
Yes. Normally you'd have your phone set, you would just go repeat for your
Yes,
next 5
thank you.
minutes.
Yeah. So now, obviously, we're doing this one. You can fan if you haven't numbed. Like I said, I can feel it now. I think the numbing helps for probably the first layer, maybe two.
Right,
And then
right.
it's done. You know,
Right.
then it's like, well, I can feel it now.
Any questions, ladies? and
Yes,
gentlemen?
any questions?
Okay, Mimi Bishop, let's see. I'm going to ask you to unmute. There we go. Hi, Mimi.
Hi.
Hi.
I actually have two quick questions. You know the microblading roller that you can use at home?
Mm-hmm.
Not a professional level one, but do you recommend prepping with that? For a
Prepping.
TCA peel?
With a
Oh, like using any kind of needling instruments or rollers?
Needling, that's what I meant.
Needling, right.
right.
No. And we never recommend it. Now, I know that there are some professionals out there
Right.
that have been needling somebody's face for a certain amount of time and they've been doing peels in that person's face. And sometimes they'll use, maybe like lactic or mandelic or something like that with needling in their practice. And I know people that are against it, and I know
Right.
people that are perfectly fine about that. Personally, we don't say to do that because the acids are penetrating already as deep as they really need to penetrate. So if you're creating a bunch of micro channels that, from like a 0.5 or a 0.25 or whatever, that acid is going far deeper than it is safe to go. And we generally don't recommend that. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. But that's a question we get all the time, so I'm glad
Yes.
you asked it. Didn't you say you had a second question?
Yes, thank you. So I bought TCA peels from y'all, and I love the website, and I really appreciate having access to the products myself without needing to go to a spa.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. The prices are great. So on the TCA peels, once I open it, what is the shelf life?
Yeah, so obviously when they're sealed in their little boxes here, they're good for 2 years. Once you, and there is an expiration, so when you buy this, if you bought it in, it's not like based on the date that we actually manufactured that product. Like maybe we manufactured it and 3 weeks later we filled it. That your date starts when you've purchased this product because we always have plenty of fresh product on the shelf. So if you bought it, in January, if 2022, it is good till January of 2024 if you have not opened that yet. Now, once you have a bottle and once you open it, then it is good for up to a year.
Correct.
And obviously that, as things sit and especially as air gets in there, that can make it a little bit weaker.
Evaporate. Like the alcohol will evaporate.
Yes. And so, one of two things can happen.
Right.
Usually it gets weaker.
Right.
Right? Usually it gets weaker. Sometimes what can happen is the alcohol evaporates and then that makes the acid increase. So it could be stronger. So that's why we say, be very careful if you're past that shelf date. We don't want you to. Oh, you might as well stop that now because we're basically
Yes.
at our second 5 minutes.
So I'm going to, let's see,
Just click cancel.
cancel. There we go.
All right, so that was our second layer. If you want to do another one, see, because I only have the 7, I feel like totally confident I can do another layer without any issues here. And, I'm going to put on another layer. And if you are ready to rinse, go ahead and rinse. I like ice cold water. And when you're done, you can put things like emu oil or
Essential
healing
oil.
blend. If you have other things, okay, so I've, always just keep resaturating and dripping. Make sure there's nothing on there. So any other questions, go ahead.
Yes.
I'm going to start applying.
Mel
Go ahead.
has a question. I'm going to ask you to unmute Armel.
You can open the chat
Okay.
at the same time.
Okay.
Oh, so there's stuff in there.
And you'll have a question.
Okay,
There's some
all right.
questions in there.
And then how do I get to that,
I
Jen?
think you can
Let me
just slide
see.
that
Let
aside.
me-
Haha.
I'm going to
Zoom
ask
is new.
Armel to unmute, and then she can go ahead and ask her question, and then we'll go to the chat.
Okay, hi. Two quick questions. The first is, so I watched your video about using, at-home devices and how to space them out. But unless I missed it, I didn't see anything about red light therapy.
Ah, that's,
It has healing properties. So
yes.
I was wondering-
Yeah, it does.
It does, and we get that question a lot. And so basically our stance is this. When you do peels, you don't want to, increase heat. So as long as you can, put a light treatment on there and it's not making your skin heat up, then yeah, it's perfectly fine. And the LED lights don't increase the heat. So that's fine. And yeah, the red light, I've heard great things about that one.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, I think I need to get one.
Great.
All
Okay,
right, so
so
how
how
do
do
we
I-
I think you can probably just click chat. Oh yeah,
Chat.
there's some chat stuff.
We got
So
some
that was
chat
my
questions.
first, and then my second, and don't laugh or do laugh. So my son wants to go out tonight to dinner with me. Can I put makeup on?
Yeah.
Yes,
You're
that's
fine.
another really common question. You can certainly put makeup on.
Yes.
And now, obviously, if it was daytime, I would suggest you put some SPF on as well.
Yes.
Put your healing products on. You just don't put them on super thick. Put your makeup on and go. And most times, especially if you're not doing, let's say, like a 3 or 4 or 5 layer TCA peel, your skin looks really good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like tight and your pores are nice and tight and everything looks really good after a peel. We have a lot of people that I have heard of that actually do that before they go out. They're like, oh, I'm going to do like
Yeah.
a mandelic peel for, 5-10 minutes.
Right.
So when I go out, my skin looks great. And yeah, that's fine. Just don't hang out in the sun.
Right, and then obviously don't wash with acids anymore, right?
No, you can. I mean, don't wash and I was like, I just washed my face, so it's the cleansers in the bathroom here. But you can. I wash with my AB cleanser all the time after I do peels. We don't want to leave acids staying on the skin. But something like a cleanser is generally, quick and easy to do. You're putting it on for a matter of seconds and taking it right off. Now, if your skin is irritated in any way or feeling really sensitive, then go ahead and use a different cleanser if you want. That's fine. I mean, I also keep a bottle of the anti-aging cleanser at home. I always use AB, which is quite strong. Just keep an eye on the time.
Yes, I see 2 minutes and 50
perfect.
seconds left.
All right. So
Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'll use the anti-aging if for some reason. The one that makes my skin sensitive is the Dream Peel. So this one will make my skin really, really sensitive. And I've used the anti-aging cleanser after that one. but that's about it. So, and I forgot to mention that if anybody's doing the Dream Peel, I mean, if you're just doing the Dream Peel by itself, obviously you're just gonna wash your face and you're gonna apply the Dream Peel. If you're doing let's say you're doing a Jessner or a TCA versus like a mandelic or a lactic, you don't put, retinoids on after those. So if you've done a mandelic, lactic, glycolic, salicylic, you rinse that, you put your healing products on, and that's it. A lot of people are like, oh, can I put the luminosity on? Can I put the Dream Peel on? It's not recommended. We recommend these, putting retinoids on only after, the multi-layer peels. And I want to say too, okay, so we're timing 5 minutes and waiting. You can wait longer. If you want to wait 10 minutes in between layers, because I find okay, it was stinging pretty bad, but now the stinging's gone. Right? So now I feel fine. I feel like, yeah, I can do another layer. But if you want and it's still stinging and you don't want to go ahead and apply acid while your face is still stinging, you can wait 10, even 15 minutes if you need to. Don't feel like you have to rush and put that layer on real quick. All right, so we got some chat questions.
Okay, yes. First one says, let's see. Do you have a starter kit that has all the products in the package to do chemical peels? We really don't, but you
No.
can purchase everything on the page.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything that you might want to use is on the page already. Like if you go to one of the peel pages, they'll have, a drop down as commonly purchased items, and it's gonna have emu oil and essential and Fade Bright and the numbing cream. And though you can only add one to the cart at a time on that page, at least you can see the options, and then you can just get the rest of those on, the other parts of the website. We do have the boxed kit. Now,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
for the milder
Yes,
acids, like
yes.
a glycolic, mandelic, salicylic. Those where you can buy the 2-ounce size bottles. Those come with a 2 ounce of Prep A, a 2 ounce of post-peel neutralizer.
4 ounce
Oh,
of
I'm sorry,
neutralizer.
4 ounce of that and a 2 ounce of the peel.
Right.
So let's say,
And an applicator. It comes with a fan brush
and
or
a fan brush or a pack of gauze.
That's correct.
Yes, and I forgot to mention that because.
You are at 5 minutes.
5 minutes. All right, so if you want to rinse, go ahead and rinse. I'm actually gonna go for it. And obviously, we didn't even talk about, we should always look to see if you have any frosting,
Yes.
right? So I literally,
How do I get back? Oh, here we go.
even though I'm only using 7, I do see,
Let me
see
see.
a little, just the tiniest
Tiny.
little bit right
Tiny
there.
bit.
It is so tiny though, so that can bring us to that whole question of, all right, if I frost, can I continue putting layers on? And, Shelly raised her hand, but you can, but just do it with caution. So if it's a very light frost or just a tiny little bit of speckle, you could potentially go over that area one whole time. If you have an area that like got really white over here, but not over here, and you want to continue doing more, then you can go ahead and do that. Just avoid the area that frosted.
Okay.
Right.
Shelly, do you have another question? Okay, hold on. Oh, let me click. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Oh, there it goes.
She's one of our moderators in our guru.
Actually, do you mind just to check the chat box, because Anna asked, she did Jessner and TCA 20, but she said she almost has no frosting.
Okay, yes. I'm going down the chat box right now. Somebody asked about when to apply the lidocaine.
Yeah, apply it,
30 minutes
probably
before.
15 to 30
Yeah.
minutes before you want to do it. You'll feel it get numb really quickly.
Okay, so then let's see. Let me go down.
And can you apply up to 5 layers? You can, but so with layering, we want to work up and only apply 1 additional layer each month that you do a layered peel like that. So if you did your TCA, last month you did 2 layers. Well, this month you can do 3 layers if you want. You don't have to. Some people are perfectly comfortable, staying with the same amount of layers. But each month you can add on 1 additional layer. I don't suggest going more than that.
Okay, so Anna says, I did Jessner and TCA 20. I have almost no frosting. Should I stop there or do another layer?
Well, if you have done that quantity of layers, so we've done 3 so far, so I don't know if you've done like 1 Jessner or maybe 2 TCA 20s. If you've done that before, then you can go ahead and add 1 more layer. And make sure, when people say like, oh, I'm not getting enough peeling stuff, make sure it's wet enough.
Yeah.
Like I'm just lightly, I almost want to say just kind of patting with my fingers. I am not wrenching this to get every last drop out. I want this to be wet.
Correct.
So I'm gonna put another layer on if we want to go, what is that, layer 4?
I think so.
You don't have to do layer 4. Only if you've done 3 in the past and you want to do 4. But I'm going to go ahead and start with my layer 4 real quick.
Okay, I'm going to.
While we answer more.
Lana says, with my job, I have several busy times where can't have any peeling. What peel could I use not to look, so bad? I mean, you could definitely do a 7 TCA, maybe it's just 1 layer. Or
1 or 2 layers is
Or one
great.
of the weekly options. Mandelic is a great option. Lactic is a great option. Any of our weekly peels.
Yeah.
And then the key with the weekly peels is, let me start your timer,
Yeah.
consistency. So you want to just be consistent. Pick a peel day, every Thursday night or whatever day you decide, and then just stick with it.
Yeah. Or twice a month. We're finding
Yeah.
twice a month is really good because you can use all your products, all your retinoids, and
Gives you a little bit more time to use those.
use those for a whole week and then do your peel. And then you've got a whole week to use all your products again, because otherwise if you're doing a peel every single week, you might be missing out on, you might get 2 days to put your products on instead of, 7. All right, I know there was more questions.
Okay, let's go back to that.
Yeah, just pop the
Let's
chat
see.
back up.
Did you forget to put her hand down, or is it back up?
Let's see. Shelly, your hand's back up. I'm going to unmute you. Okay.
Sorry, that's all.
Okay. All right, so let's see. Any others? I watched a video on Jessners, so from my understanding, either I can wash it off, right, or leave it on. Now,
correct.
it's going to work best if you leave it on for 4 hours. It's like Jessners is one of these acids that in the past, people, if you rinsed it off right away, you might not end up with a super duper peel.
Right.
So we have always followed Dr. Fulton's, and he was like one of the inventors of Retin-A. He was very big on acne. He passed away, but I always follow a lot of his recommendations. And he was the one that recommended to leave it on for at least 4 hours.
Right.
So we always recommend to leave it on then. And yeah, like Jessner stings at first, but then once that goes away, it's gone, and it's just leave it on your skin, let it keep doing its thing. And if you've done a Jessner plus a TCA, do I rinse? You can. You don't have to.
Right.
You might want to leave that Jessner on. If your skin is comfortable and you're feeling fine, no, you don't have to rinse.
Okay.
And a lot of people ask, well, do I have to rinse my TCA? You don't necessarily have to rinse your TCA. You could leave it on.
It will
I
self-neutralize.
find personally, I like to, if it's just TCA, I like to rinse it off so I can put my other treatments on. And I'll just talk about that for a second real quick right now, like other treatments. So when you've rinsed your acid off, your skin is really primed to accept some things. So if you're dealing with something like hyperpigmentation, melasma,
Right.
you rinsed your stuff off, that's a really good time, at least today. Today's like a magical day. It's
a magical window that you have.
Magical window. You can put your Fade Bright on. And this will penetrate nicely. Then you can put, whether it's your luminosity, your healing oils, whatever you're going to put on next. But it's a good time to put treatments on. And treatments could be Fade. Oh yeah, please go ahead and help us. You can have your Fade Bright open. You can put Fade Bright on. You can put copper on. You could put the potions on. Anything that does not have an acid in it. We don't want to put the acid in it at the same time. And leave that on, but all of the other things are good. We're trying to get multiple windows open here so we can see everything and be a little more on top of it. No?
Mine has both of them open.
Oh, darn. Well, that is that. Okay, we got a hand up.
So we're gonna unmute Jen Lynn, and I'm gonna ask you to unmute and go ahead
Hey,
with
Jen.
your question. Oh, hold on, Jen, we can't hear you. Hold on.
I gotta click unmute.
Yeah, click the unmute,
There you
Jen.
go.
Okay, there we go.
I don't know why it didn't work. Hi, thank you for
Hi.
hosting this event. This is so fun. Real quick, is the DermaSnap considered something that you can put on after a peel, the DermaSnap lotion?
You could. It doesn't really have healing properties or anything like that to it. I mean, yes, it's very moisturizing, it's anti-aging. You could put it on. And I think that would be fine if you're doing a really light peel too. If we're considering the fact that you want to keep your skin moisturized so you're not dry and tight feeling. Usually I find the oils are better.
I did that with the emu oil on top of it.
Oh, that's fine.
But I forgot to put the Fade Bright on.
Well, I mean, you could wash it off and start again if you want.
And put the Fade Bright on? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That actually wasn't, my question was, well, I have a lot of questions, but I'll start with this one. I did an eye peel earlier today, and does your skin eventually acclimate? Because the last time I did it last month, I was fanning myself because it was really stinging. But then this time it's I could just sit there and it was fine. So is that normal, or maybe I didn't do it as
You're at your 5 minutes.
wet as I needed to?
Well, I mean, but we generally do a pretty dry application on the eyes anyways. And, that brings up the point that sometimes you're just more sensitive than other times.
Correct.
Certain times of the month, the feminine cycles, you'd be more prone to have a more painful peel or more irritating. If you didn't stop retinoids or acid serums, 4 to 6 days, it might be more sensitive. But other than that, like people, different phenomenons happen and everybody, we're so individual. Sometimes some people move forward and it's just less irritating.
Right.
And a lot of times, if you're doing a heavier peel or whatever and you're getting more and more skin off, and when you do those next peels, they might actually even sting more.
Right.
Because
Right.
it's a little bit more more hypersensitive.
Very true.
So, yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't worry either way. I wouldn't worry. Next time, if you want to do more layers, go ahead and do another layer. Because you can continue on. Like, okay, so I did layer 4. I swear to God, I could do a layer 5. I love this 7. I love this 7. I've always done 13.
I love the 7.
I really like the 7 because I literally have some frosting.
Yeah.
But it is
I can see
so
it.
tolerable.
Yeah,
just right here mostly.
Well, I can see a little bit across the top. Now you have like a little line. Little line
fine.
of demarcation there. Where I
It doesn't
can
even
see
sting anymore. It's like it's done. Like the stinging is done. Now my neck is pink. I'm not doing nothing else on my neck.
All right, so I'm going to go back to our.
So is it right? I did the TCA 7 as well. So is it that the acid neutralizes after 5 minutes? And
Well-
that's what I found is like it would sting at first and then it would like dissipate. after
Yeah,
a while.
they all kind of do that though. They all do that, and it's not necessarily because it's neutralized. I don't know. They all just feel
Yeah.
better. Like Jessner especially. Ooh, like when I considered doing a Jessner plus TCA, then I thought I won't be able to talk because Jessner is so stingy to me.
Yeah.
Some people find it's like water. Others it's like the fires of hell. That would be me. But even with Jessner though, like, that first layer, oh gosh, it's awful for probably about 4 minutes.
Right.
And then the next layer, wow, when you put it on, it lights up again, and then it's maybe 3 minutes or so. Like, I find that it gets a little bit more tolerable, at least with Jessner. I think it almost, like, numbs the skin a bit. I'm gonna do one last layer here, just in case anybody's, like, really advanced and they're, up to putting 5 layers on. And if not, like, while I'm waiting for this one to be done, we'll just talk about anything else,
Yes,
other things
I
we can
have
put on,
some
and more questions.
Questions
Yeah.
here. I will wait for your layer to be done, and then we'll start your timer.
Kind of a little light one.
For your
But I have this
final.
hyperpigmentation here, I would just really love to get rid of, like dye.
There you go.
You
Dot
know.
it on a couple of times.
Yep. Oh, there's my nose ring. Oh. Yeah, don't worry if you got jewelry.
Perfect. All right, we're
All
gonna
right,
pop
what other-
this timer on.
Yep, because I'm not doing my neck. That's it for the
Oh,
neck.
I gotta move some of these windows.
Because, like I said, always, your neck and chest, they're definitely thinner skin, more sensitive, more reactive. Like, my neck is, like, red, where,
All right. So give this
normally
timer
people
a
wouldn't be.
start.
Oh, is her hand still up? Oh,
Oh,
another hand
hold
up.
on a second. I don't know if my timer started.
Nope. There you
Now
go.
it started.
There you
Okay,
go.
okay. All right, so let me move this. Sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah, we need
This
like
is my first Zoom call.
This
so
is
I'm-
our, yeah. And this is
Okay.
our first Zoom meeting.
Okay, so all right. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce your name. Okay, I'm gonna unmute you. Okay,
And then you
let
can
us know.
say,
Okay.
You could call me Suri.
oh,
hi.
beautiful.
So I just have a quick question. I know it's every 4 weeks that we have to reapply.
The
TCA 7% as well?
It really depends on how many layers.
Today,
Generally
It
speaking,
was my first peel and I did, sorry.
go
It was
ahead.
my first peel today and I did 3 layers today.
Okay, that's fine with the 7.
And
Yeah, I can see you look a little rosy there.
Yeah, so like in our in our guide here on page 14 and 15 is the TCA guideline, and it's basically saying if you're doing anywhere between 2 and 3 layers, we have 2 to 4 weeks. So if you've done 3 layers, I'm going to definitely suggest 4 weeks. And like the higher the percentage, the more layers, sometimes the longer you want to wait. If someone is just like, oh, how long do I have to wait to do another peel? They're doing TCA or Jessner, my standard answer is always like at least a month, right? Because we want to give you time to heal. And that just brings just a real quick thing. People are always like, well, when my flaking is all done, then I should be able to do another peel. But it's like, that's not the whole process. You know, we've targeted the skin, and now it's come off, and you think, well, I'm all done, but you're not done. Your skin is super, super busy under there, remodeling and making new collagen and elastin, and then obviously that takes months to reach the surface where you're really seeing the differences. But, you really have to wait. Even if you barely had any flaking, you should wait the allotted time to let your skin heal and turn over and start that whole regeneration process. You just don't want to keep hammering on something that's, in the midst of blossoming. Just take your time and let your skin do its thing.
Also,
we got-
one more question.
Yeah.
When can I apply like a retin-A or tretinoin or whatever after this peel? How soon can I start?
Right. So, retin-A specifically, retin-A, tretinoin, that is the acid form of vitamin A. So, with all acids, we want to make sure that you are 100% done flaking and your skin is not irritated or sensitive anymore.
Right.
So the average time for all the skin to come off is somewhere between 7 and 10 days, because you do your peel, takes up to 3 to 5 days before it starts flaking, then it takes another 3 to 5 days to finish flaking. That's where we get that range. But once that's all done, then you can go ahead and start using your products, go right back to your regimen again.
Okay. And even with the TCA 7%, it flakes a lot? Or
Yes. That's,
It does.
I mean, you can, like I said, and we're telling people, like, this is a great step to go to if you don't want a lot of excessive flaking.
Right.
But it all depends on the layers you're applying. I mean,
still get good peeling with,
Yeah.
I'll finish with the Dream Peel. I'll do 2 to 3 layers, and I get great peeling.
yeah, because with TCA, it really,
Yeah.
like I said, percentage is important, volume is important, layers are important. So the more layers you put on, even if it's a milder percentage,
Right.
you can still make it where you can get a lot of good flaking.
Perfect.
Oh,
One
we got
last
one.
question, sorry.
Yeah.
With this, I know you just told me about the tretinoin. What about vitamin C and hyaluronic? Can we apply that normally in the day and evening, or should we wait for that as well?
Hyaluronic is perfect, and I know it
Yes.
says hyaluronic acid, but I love to apply hyaluronic
Yes.
after my peels. Vitamin C is also an acid, though, and I suggest that you wait on that because that would be extremely
Yeah.
stingy and
It's
irritating.
got a lower pH, so it definitely could cause some
Oh yeah, it's like a
irritation.
2.
Yeah.
So that would cause a lot of irritation. And just so you guys know, we got about 30 seconds left, and then you go ahead and rinse. I will rinse at that
So
point.
hyaluronic we can apply,
Yeah.
not vitamin C.
Yeah, it's kind
Thank
of
you so
silly
much.
that's like hyaluronic acid,
Yes.
but it's not an irritating acid. It's nothing like that's in your skin naturally.
Right.
Holds like 1,000 times its own weight in water. It's going to keep you nice and hydrated. I like to, after a peel, I like to wash my face, while it's still damp. I'll put a little bit of hyaluronic. I'll put some essential oil. I'll put some ema oil. I'll mix all that together and put that on my face. And then if I have to go to work and let's say it's starting to flake and I know I might be seeing somebody in the lobby, that's when I might reach for a little bit of Aquaphor and put the tiniest
Yes.
amount on and just kind of lightly put that on top so it kind of keeps that dead skin
Yeah.
from coming up. It just makes you look a little bit more human when you're in the midst of a heavy flake. Other than that, just the oils is generally fine. And then, so I'm going to rinse, and just so you know, so I did TCA. So if you want, after your TCA, you have the option, or Jessner, you have the option, if you have some at home, you could put either the luminosity on, you can put it on one time tonight, one time the next night, when your skin starts to flake, you could stop using this and then just continue with your oils. Or you could put the Dream Peel on one time today, like you would rinse your TCA off. Jessner, you could leave the Jessner on if you like and then put the Dream Peel on top. If you did Jessner plus TCA, you can leave all that on and then put the Dream Peel on and then rinse everything off after 6 to 8 hours. That's your choice, but I do suggest that you make sure that you have tried the dream peel separately before.
Right.
You know, always try each individual
Right.
peel
Agreed.
separately before you're applying them all together.
All right, we have a couple of hands raised. We're gonna go to Jen Lynn. I'm gonna ask you to unmute. All right.
Sorry, I'm very curious. And it's my skin, so I don't want to make a mistake. And
Sure.
you guys are amazing. Okay, so I hear you say after the peel, you don't want to use acids and retinoids.
Well, you don't.
However,
Yeah, go ahead.
it sounds like hyaluronic acid is an exception.
Because it's not
It's-
really an
yeah,
acid.
it's not
like,
really-
It's not.
Hyaluronic acid,
It's a
our bodies,
moisturizer.
yeah, our bodies already contain hyaluronic acid, and it's just like Jen's saying, it's deceiving by saying it's an acid, but the pH level is not low like
No.
an acid would be.
It's actually like a moisturizer.
Yeah, it helps your body pull moisture, or helps the cells kind of pull that moisture and nourishes those cells. And when those cells are nice and nourished, it helps to smooth out fine lines and wrinkles. Because when the cells are nourished, of course, the skin looks a little more plump. So it's very good to use.
Oh, yeah.
I get confused with all of the names, and I'm learning. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess I'm wondering if there's any kind of or two questions. Number one, are there any more exceptions to the rule, like hyaluronic acid? I hear acid, I think, oh, I don't want to put that on after a pill, but now
Right.
it sounds like that's the exception. So my first question is, are there any other exceptions to that rule? And is there any kind of like a flyer or cheat sheet that says, do not put this on after the peel and put these on? Or some kind of like a 2-column thing or something? Or maybe
Right.
it's in the little book. I have that little booklet.
I was going to say, like, where is our aftercare?
Like, as a rule of thumb, we say, healing and soothing, gentle
Yeah.
products that do not contain acids.
Yep. This is our
It sounds
pre-protocol.
like the hyaluronic acid is the only exception to that rule.
Yeah, and that's just because it has that crazy name. It's not really acidic. It doesn't have a low pH level. It's
Right.
not irritating. It's not going to sting. Nothing like that. It's basically a moisturizer. So, yeah, that's just pretend it's just hyaluronic.
Okay, it's just semantics. Okay.
Yes.
You're welcome. Okay, we have a couple
I wonder if
more
I should put, I'm
hands
trying to debate
raised.
which one I should put on. Should I put on Dream Peel or should I put on Luminosity?
You got another hand raised.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
So we are gonna go to, I believe I'm not sure if I'm gonna pronounce this right.
Yeah, I'll do Luminosity since I got it right
Baton.
here.
I'm gonna ask you to unmute.
This is Batan. This is my first time peeling, like after a not very good experience 9 years ago. So I have like 2 questions.
Sure.
One is that this is kind of like a pre-treatment phase question. So when you say, I heard you saying that stop acid serums, and I'm thinking ascorbic acid is not one of those that we can still keep using it.
Vitamin C.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
that's a vitamin C, and that could have a lower pH. I know if it's our vitamin C, it definitely
Ours
does.
does. We don't necessarily tell you to stop using vitamin C though, because it's not generally something that is specifically trying to turn your skin over and cause it to peel and things like that. It's just, vitamin C, we're using it for a different purpose. But if it causes you sensitivity, then definitely stop. If it
Right.
makes your skin really dry or something like that, obviously I would stop prior to doing your peel. Just because you want your skin to feel comfortable. You don't want to have dry patches. You don't
Right.
want to be irritated. Like if you are pink or irritated from something, like if you just started using Retin-A and then, that's like a process that can take months for your skin to acclimate. Was there another one?
Yes, let's see.
All right, so I'm just letting you know I put my Luminosity on. So I'm going to put that on every night, for the next few nights. And then you can put any healing oils on top. So I like to mix a couple drops of essential and emo oil. So that's what I'm going to do while we
All right.
answer.
We are gonna go back to, is it Sabir?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to say I've had this peel for a while, but I've been hesitating to put it on. And I think this is the best thing you've done, having us all live so we can actually follow you.
Good.
Not being scared of it, because I was scared to do it alone.
Right.
That's amazing. That's great. We
And,
were just
you know,
saying that
yeah,
before we went
you agree
live.
with me?
Yes, yes. And you know,
Yay, ladies.
Couple of months now, like 3-4 months, but I haven't applied it because even the 7% I'm scared to apply alone.
right, if you've never done, now,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. And see, now, once you get that first
Thank
time
you.
out,
I appreciate it.
now you can be
Yes.
comfortable.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
You're
Now we actually know the procedures, how to do it step by step. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
And just, you know, just so everyone knows too, like we do have the videos on the website, and I have I think it's called Chemical Peeling 101, and that one is a walkthrough kind of like this, a little quicker, obviously, where I do. I think I did a mandelic peel on that one, and I talk, you know, how to prep, what to do beforehand, and I apply the peel, and then I rinse the peel, and then I also mention real quick, like, hey, if you're doing a multi-layered, like this is when you'd put your second layer on. And then we have one on the Jessner, we have one on TCA, and then we have TCA plus Dream Peel, we have Jessner plus TCA, and we have all those videos, and they're all live walkthroughs with me too. The only thing that we're doing is we're like cutting out the 5 minute, so we can just, you know, move forward real quickly.
All right. Let's see.
Armel?
Armel has a question. I just asked you to unmute.
Okay, I'm so sorry, but this is my first peel. I feel
No!
like I'm talking a lot.
That's what we're here for.
So great. So I second what the previous person said. This was fantastic for a first-time peeler. You know, I was so afraid. So this was great, and it made it so, you know, casual and easy. So it was wonderful. Thank you.
Super.
But so I'm looking because I have all my notes from all of your videos, and I'm like this nerd who, like, you know, follows everything to the direction.
Me too.
So I was surprised, you know, when you started mentioning all these things we can use, because I had written, you know, once your skin tightens, only emu oil. So in my mind, that was it. You know, I'm not using anything else or I'm going to catch on fire. So really what I'm understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is I can use I have bought, you know, what you recommend, the emu oil and everything. But on top of that, I can use my general skincare as long as there is nothing that is abrasive, acidic, you know, irritating. Am I right? And then second question after that is, I have your new Fade Bright, what is it called? Which I love. The new, Fade Bright.
Yeah, it's still Fade Bright.
So there is gram-active retinoid in there. So my question about that obviously is, you know, you said no retinoic acid or any, you know, any retinol products. So
Yeah.
Yes.
how do you fit that into the mix?
Exactly. So, like, same thing with luminosity, same thing with Dream Peel. Like, these are obviously retinoids, and they're our strongest retinoids.
Yeah, very strong.
And what we don't want you to do with retinoids is we don't want you to just like go back to your normal regimen and just start, you know, putting it on every single night without a purpose. You know, that's just going to cause excess irritation. When we're doing it with this, we're using these very strong ones because we're trying to encourage more flaking. A lot of times it'll make your skin peel a little bit quicker, so you'll have a little bit less time actively flaking. A lot of people want to try to like cut a day or two off. When you're using things like this very purposefully, that will help to do that. So like luminosity, we're only applying this for, you know, I would say on average 2 to 3 days, maybe 4 days, because as soon as your skin starts to flake, we stop using it.
Right.
Dream Peel, we only put this on one time.
Right.
You know, when you rinse your peel, or not, you put your Dream Peel on that one night. After that, we're not putting any other retinoids on. We're just putting our healing products only on. And I just wanted to touch on where you were saying about how you can use like your daily products versus, oh, it's not penetrating. That's kind of like why I was saying, like when you rinse it off, today is like a magic day. Anything you put on is going to penetrate really nicely. Now, depending on what acid you did and how your skin reacts. You might have a lot of tightening tomorrow. It might start to feel a little thick. And if it's not, well, then you might have another magic day where you can put some other good ingredients on and then put your healing stuff on. But if your skin, but I would say for sure by day 3, I mean, your skin feels dry and you look like you're 150 years old when you're making, then nothing's going to penetrate into your skin. The best thing you can do is wash it and then put your oils on and wait till it's done flaking before you go back.
Let's touch base on the small amount of retinol that is in here prior to, because she was a little confused because obviously we say stop your retinoids 5 days, but this has
it does have the
retinol,
grain
which
active.
is a little different.
Right. So our normal
Right.
retinol blend, our fusion has Gran Active, has retinaldehyde, and it has retinol in it. So Gran Active is an ester, so it's very low on the irritant scale. It goes, immediately to work in your skin, just like tretinoin does. And it doesn't generally cause a lot of downtime. It's considered, a gentler feeling for sure. Not that it doesn't work excellent, but it's not going to cause like the irritation and stuff that retinol or retinaldehyde or tretinoin can on your skin. Now, this is obviously new. It's something that we just did, and the reason that we put it in is because we're trying, not everybody's doing peels that is purchasing our Fade Bright, right? They're trying to work on, hyperpigmentation or PIH, all that kind of stuff. And they're just applying this on a daily basis, and we want them to get the very best they possibly can. So the Gran Active is gonna penetrate deep. The glutathione in here is gonna help, our alpha-arbutin, kojic acid, and then also we added the squalene in there, and squalene has like the oil solubility, and that plus the DMI, which is in the Gran Active, helps everything to penetrate really deep into your skin.
Yes.
So this is like a standalone product. We're trying to have you get the very best results using this all by itself. So, yeah. Fade Bright. Fade Bright. So, this is something we want you to use every day if you're dealing with pigmentation, PIH, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you're going to do a peel, we normally tell you to stop those heavy retinoids. They're a focused retinoid product for sure for 4 to 6 days. This has it as an extra ingredient in here. I feel like you could use this a little bit longer. Like I would say if you're going to stop retinoids, I would stop this maybe 2 days ahead of time, maybe 3, but we're all different, Sometimes people have to stop things quicker than others. It's a learning thing. Personally, I've been using this since we made it, and I used it all the way up until yesterday.
Right.
So we'll see. I didn't feel any extra stinging. I didn't feel anything different. My skin has not felt sensitive or dry or anything after using this for a couple, 2-3 weeks now. So I'll let you know how that goes. But as for now, I'm saying maybe 2-3 days.
All right.
We got another question?
We're going to go over to the chat box here.
Okay.
Can you use your numbing cream for microneedling?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because I've had it done professionally, so have you, and they numb you up. I mean, needling is not fun.
Right.
You definitely want to needle, and you want to numb up, and this stuff is great. I'm telling you, within 5 minutes, I was like, I must have got a little bit on my lip. I was like, oh my God, I can't even feel my lip anymore.
She said she felt like she went to the dentist.
That's yes.
Okay, so let's see. Jennifer says, finishing my large bottle of mandelic, starting TCA 13 soon. Once I start monthly TCAs, no more mandelics.
Well, you want to alternate. So that's kind of like where we go, always follow the recommendations of the very last acid you applied to your skin. So if you applied mandelic to your skin, it's going to tell you need to wait at least 7 days. So you do your mandelic peel, you wait 7 days, you can do whatever peel you want, let's say TCA. So you do your TCA 13, you got, 2 layers on, the booklet's telling you to wait 4 weeks. That's what you have to wait. Once your 4 weeks is up, then you can do a mandelic peel if you like, you can do a TCA peel if you like, but you just always have to wait that time, because remember I said it's not just when the flaking's done. There's more happening under the skin. With the milder acids, it's a little less. It's done a little bit more quickly, but when you're doing like a TCA peel, you're done flaking in 10 days, but there's a lot of regeneration still going on, and we want to give your skin time to finish that process before we hit it with something else.
All right, so our next question says, hi, I just did 3 layers of TCA 13.
Good for you.
When will the peeling begin, and when can I start using my Retin-A again?
Right, so on average, I say it's about 3 days. You know, but your skin is dry, then you're gonna start noticing, usually right around the nose creases right here, you'll start seeing like some little white, that's where it's gonna start peeling, and then you'll see it around your mouth. Because these are the areas, the central part of your face that move the most. So your peeling is gonna start in the middle, it's gonna radiate outwards. So when you're, looking at 9 days later, 10 days, we're not talking that your whole face is still peeling. It's usually just a tiny little remnants around the edges of your, hairline or as far as you went. Oh, and then obviously, wait until you're completely done flaking, your skin feels good again, nice and normal, and then you can go back to your regimen, which includes retinoids every day.
And once a month is a good rule of thumb. Every 4 weeks, that was the second part of the question. Next one says, this has been very helpful. Thank you so much for holding this session.
You're welcome.
And then I am trying to get rid of hyperpigmentation. If I get the results that I want after a series, should I continue with the same peel?
Oh, what happened? We lost our, hold on. We lost our, is this not in, is that turning on? Huh?
They're having technical difficulties. It'll be right back.
Who, Zoom is?
No, we
you
are. How do we start this again,
I just
Jennifer?
unmuted myself to tell everyone because everyone here looks so confused.
Oops. Well, what just happened?
Is the strip on? Yeah, it's on.
I was like, I just tried.
Did you lose battery?
I was like, there should be plenty of battery on here.
Is it plugged into
Well,
the
if it
hot one?
wasn't plugged in that whole time, it would probably
It
be
was.
raining.
Oh, remember I said this happened once before? But I don't understand why.
I think that's the right
Sucks.
one.
Yeah, but my computer wouldn't have shut off no matter what. All right, well, let me log in on my phone.
Oh, we're coming back.
there
We're
we
coming
go.
back. Very, 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 very strange.
I don't know how to click join.
What do we do? Do we have to invite them all back in? I don't know.
No.
Recording in progress.
We're back.
Do you see us? Wave if you see us.
You're muted.
Oh, we're
We're
muted.
muted.
Unmute. There we go. Can you guys
Unmute.
see us, hear us?
No clue what happened there.
We do not know.
Sorry about that.
We're glad you hung in there.
Yeah, right? Who knows what happened there? I really have no clue. The whole computer just went down.
Oh, I see Mother Mary there, your mom.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Mother Mary.
Okay, so what were we even saying?
Okay.
It was just about like waiting the time, I believe, before we panicked and
Yes. Okay, let's go back to the chat. Let's see. She says this is so helpful.
Yup.
Let's see.
did a mandelic. My skin feels so soft. That's exactly what I was saying, like from the beginning. Why sometimes, oh, Shelly raised her hand. Why sometimes people will do like a peel like on the same day that they're going out that night or something, just to.
Right.
Because their skin is like tight, it's soft, it's especially with the lighter acids.
All right, Shelly, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Go ahead with your question. Oh, I can't hear you yet.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you are.
No, actually, I just want to say thank you, and I need to go. I need to duck out anyway. So.
Yep.
Well, thanks
Thanks
so
for
much.
joining, Shelly. And if you guys are in the group, Shelly's one of the what do we call them? Moderators. Yes. So
Thank
she
you,
answers a lot of
Shelly.
questions. She's an esthetician. She's always super helpful. Thank you, Shelly.
I'll see you some other time. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Do we have any other questions? What else can we talk about? Oh, I had another note here if there's no more questions.
Nope.
For suggestions of what else to do in Zoom calls.
Very
Okay.
true. Very true. And we'll ask that. Like, start thinking on that. Like, is there anything else you want us to do or go over?
Yeah.
Maybe we should have another Zoom thing, or maybe we'll do a peel session every couple months or so.
We are open to suggestions. This was actually a suggestion from one of our
one of the group
gurus.
members.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
guru group. And here we are.
Yeah, see, we made it happen. And I just wanted to mention too, like body peels. So if you're doing a body peel, I have a little note sheet here. We don't want to do your entire body in one session, even if you want to do your whole body.
Right.
So we suggest something along the lines of, I think it's like 30% of your body. You don't want to cover more than that, especially with Jessner. But do like, let's say you're doing like your arms, and maybe, your chest, like that's good for one day. Like maybe you did your face and your arms and your chest. That's totally good for one day. The next day, let's say you want to do like full legs. I would either suggest doing like the bottom of both legs on one day, and then the bottom, and then your thighs both the next day. Or you could do like one leg one day, and then one entire leg the next day. A lot of times people just want to do like a full body peel, but you don't want to put that much acid on your entire body at once. It's just not good for you to just cover yourself in TCA or Jessner, and those are usually the ones that you're using for your body. They're not harmful or anything like that, in like small doses, of course. But, you don't want to do a bunch of layers on gigantic body parts that literally are accounting for, 60% of your body. So just keep that in mind. Just do like, a part at a time.
Couple of suggestions. Copper peptides. They would like to see,
Yes.
maybe a live event on copper peptides, and then we could answer some questions.
Oh, I thought for a minute you were saying, like, can we put copper peptides
Yeah,
on after
no,
a
they
peel?
were
And I'm like,
saying-
yes, that's so good.
All right. So then, how do I scroll back up here? Hold on a second.
Let's see. Yeah.
Okay, copper. I'd like to see us step by step as a new person. I want to see, and I think this will be recorded,
You can
correct?
make this. This
Make this
is
bigger?
definitely being recorded.
Okay.
And we will post this online. I'm sure they'll make little minis out of this, each additional question. I don't know if you've noticed that they're pulling from a lot of our lives. And, when we're answering a question, they're turning them into little shorts, like on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and stuff. So you might see something that's like a real specific question with a real specific answer. And I know a lot of people have been like, oh my gosh, I love that. Keep doing those. And it's like, yeah, those are just from our lives. They're
those are
just like
fun.
cutting them into little things.
Sounds like they'd like to have a Zoom on each individual. Like maybe we should do one on Jessner
On
in
each
the future,
acid.
and then maybe one on the weekly peels. The weekly peels are pretty similar as far as application goes.
Yeah, it's just instead of continuing on with those layers, you're just rinsing
Yes.
and, putting your healing products on or
Yes.
your Fade Bright, whatever you want to do. Is there anything else we missed that we should go over with a peel? Like if somebody's done a peel. Oh, like needling and peels or IPL and peels. When people are doing multiple different treatment modalities, I wanted to mention that. That's a question we get a lot. That, if you're doing needling this month, do your needling this month, then you want to wait. I mean, when you follow needling stimulates a lot of, just like a deeper peel does, stimulates a lot of growth in the skin, and you don't want to go at it again really quickly. You want to give that at least 4 weeks.
Yeah,
So
you don't want to interrupt that healing, and that's when all the great things are happening beneath the skin.
Yeah. You want to let that happen. So I suggest, if you do needling, choose to do needling 1 month, and then wait your time. Let's say you needle the first week and then wait, an additional 3 or 4 weeks. Then do a peel and then wait 4 weeks. So you can alternate those things, or if you're getting IPL done or whatever you're getting done.
Right.
And one more thing, now that I'm thinking about it, everybody always wants to know, like, can I get injections and do peels? I'm going to get, Botox next Tuesday, but I was going to do a peel on Monday. When you're in an establishment, they will usually do your injections last. So let's say you go to a medical spa and you're getting a TCA peel and some Restylane fillers and some Botox. They're going to do the TCA peel first, And then they're going to do like your Restylane fillers and your Botox. They will do that at the same day, at the same time. That doesn't mean that they're going to be comfortable with you saying, oh, I did a TCA peel at home earlier today and I want to come in and get some, in your appointments. They might not want to do that because they might be scared, they didn't do the TCA peel. Just FYI on that. Like sometimes you might need to actually wait a week, before you go in and get something done because they might not feel comfortable with that.
Okay, I'm gonna see. Noah has a question in the chat box. I am trying to get rid of hyperpigmentation. If I get the results that I want after a series, should I continue with the same peel, or do I switch up to a peel just to maintain skin?
Well, we haven't really talked about that. So series, well, you did mention it. Like you definitely want to do a full series. Don't think it's just like a one and done. I can't say that enough. One peel and done is not it. You want to do a peel, whether it's a weekly peel, a bi-weekly peel, a monthly peel. You want to do 6 to 8 of those in a row. And then you want to, take stock on your skin. Oh yeah, this is looking good. I still got a little more work. Okay, we'll do another series. Or if you feel like, now, I did a series of mandelic, now I want to do something stronger, and you want to do Jessner, let's say, for hyperpigmentation, then go ahead and do some Jessner for a while. Or a lot of times people go back and forth. Like if I want to do peels, sometimes I don't want a lot of peeling.
Right.
If I don't, well, then I reach for mandelic. So you can definitely pick and choose from any of those groups that you wish.
All right, Armel, you have another question? I'm gonna ask you to go ahead and unmute. No? Okay, hold on. I'm going to press it again. All right, maybe try it again. Now? Okay, cool.
Okay, so you mentioned with the microneedling being 4 weeks apart, but I'm assuming you mean for medical, right? Like 0.5 and above?
Yes.
Like cosmetic, at home,
About
doing
2
just
weeks.
cosmetic under 0.5 millimeter.
Yeah.
Millimeter.
Yes.
Millimeter. I'm assuming that that's fine to do after you're done peeling.
I would probably say 2 weeks. I think that was a good guesstimate because
Yeah.
still 0.5 still, you're still causing a little bit of trauma on the skin, and I would not necessarily want to do that the second after I finished healing from a peel.
Right.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. It's not medical where you're getting a derma pen done or a doctor pen or, all the different things. That I would definitely wait. I kind of like, if a treatment like that, if they say, okay, you can get another one in 4 weeks, well, you know that 4 weeks
Yes.
is the time that
Then
you need to
could
wait
do your peel in 4 weeks.
before
yes.
you can do a peel or anything else.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Like I'm at home cosmetic microneedling, even with a doctor pen, like I do 0.3, I do it weekly usually.
Got it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so I would at least wait the 2 weeks. Yeah, at least 2.
I would say so, yeah. And I see what you're saying, like with a 0.5, that's something that we can maybe stipulate a little bit more.
Right.
On the, in some things, yeah.
yeah, medical versus
Yes.
cosmetic.
Yes.
True.
Awesome. Oh. Okay. Oh, sorry, I accidentally clicked it too quick. All right, does anybody else have any questions? All right.
I was like, if not, I think I've just talked. Oh, I had one more point.
Okay.
One more point because I had someone in the group did she did a 20
Okay.
and then did a 25 and then did a 30 layer. And that was accidental, but I do want to talk about that real quick because
Uh-oh, Kiki.
Aw.
There's
No.
Kiki. Grandma Mary's
no, it's Stella. That's
Oh,
Stella.
Stella. I'm so sorry. That's right. Kiki's
But
passed.
so people always ask, can I use multiple percentages? And I realize that you are probably, you maybe have a TCA 13 at home, a TCA 20, TCA 7. You have a lot of them. And maybe you did the 13 and you've graduated to the 20, but you still got a vial of,
Yes.
13 left. So let's say, your first layer is the 20 and you're like, gosh, I'd really like to use some of this 13. I feel like if you're doing a second layer or a third layer, you can use a lower percentage if you want. So that's as comfortable as I am telling you that you can use multiple percentages of like TCA. Because if it's a lower percentage, it's okay. But what I don't want is for someone to be doing, 2 or 3 layers of a 13 and then decide, well, I'm gonna put a 20 on as that last layer. Do not do that. If you're gonna put an additional layer on, make sure it's the same percentage
Right.
or lower, just for safety.
Okay,
Okay.
Donna has a question, so I'm going to ask you to unmute Donna.
There.
All right. Hi.
Okay. Hi, ma'am. So I did the TCA peel, the 20, and I did the 5 layers right now.
Woo!
So, yeah, it's extremely painful. I'm
Yeah.
myself walking around making all these crazy noises. Okay. My thing is, can I do something on my lips? I notice when I'm putting the peel on too, I'm trying to target my cheek areas because I got a lot of the hyperpigmentation right here. And I'm not so much concerned. I am concerned, but I just don't do it around my eye area because I feel like it starts to burn me quicker.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to get it all through my face and on my neck and my.
So the question was, can you also do your lips? Like with the TCA? Like usually, like we have a lip peel video, like if you're doing the actual pink.
As I'm applying those or my lips. So can I go back after, like the 10 days after the peel, or can I still do it now maybe?
I would only do it
because I've never done my lips.
now. Like I would do it now at today's setting. I wouldn't. I mean, it's easier, then everything is all in nice lined up. Because, we have the one video on the lip peel, and we're doing the lactic 50.
Yes.
I have had people say I want to do TCA. I said like TCA 7 at maybe like 1 layer or
Yes,
so is
yeah.
okay. The thing is your lips are really, really, really thin. It's so much thinner. I have a diagram on the lip peel page. It's like so much thinner
Right.
than the rest of the skin on your face, and you don't want to end up with like cracking and bleeding and stuff like that. So just don't be too aggressive on the lips, but you could do that, yeah.
Okay.
And I want to tell you, Donna, the sunrise or sunset behind you is beautiful.
Okay, so here's my big issue, and I mentioned when I asked you questions this prior. So after my peel, I feel like I said I get scarring, and I think it's because I don't know if I'm washing my face too much, and the skin starts to peel off my face. So then I'm getting, I don't know if since the old skin is coming off too quickly, and that's what's causing me to get scars. Like I noticed, like I'll get a scar right here. Like last time I got more.
You mean like a red mark?
Yeah, a red mark.
Okay.
So I consider that because then it starts and it stays there. But I don't know if it's because I try to, when I'm washing my face, it's coming off too quickly. And
Yeah.
sometimes,
Could be.
I'm not gonna lie, I pick at it.
Yeah, well,
don't
and
pick-
especially as deep a peel as you're doing.
Yes.
There's not a rush to get that skin off. We want to actually keep that skin on so
Yes.
it's protecting those underlying layers until they're actually ready to come out. Or you can run into things like that where it gets red. So I suggest that, that's a case where I would use the oils, maybe some Aquaphor. If you're doing 4 or 5 layers of TCA 20, that's a very deep peel.
Yeah.
So definitely try to keep that skin on. And let's say very, very gentle when you're washing. I would just use my fingertips and then,
Yes.
a washcloth, of course, to get it off, but gently. Don't be like rubbing, no scrubbing. And, oh gosh, I was just going to say something and then I just forgot what it was. Isn't that funny?
It happens.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It is gone. So, yeah, I forgot even what I was saying. Oh, it was, see, ding, ding, ding. If there is a red mark left,
Yes.
1% hydrocortisone,
Yes.
and apply that up to 2 weeks, and that will help to balance that redness out and turn it back into its normal color again.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I
Yay.
think that is our last question. There's nothing left in the
Wonderful.
box. This was her question here. So
Well,
I think
this was
we're
fun.
all set, and we so appreciate you ladies participating in this. This was really fun to watch you girls. And
Yes.
It was great.
Yeah, normally, like when we do the lives, we can't really see anybody. We're just talking to ourselves, reading questions amongst ourselves. We can't see if anybody's even there. So yeah, this is fun to see people on the screen. I enjoy that.
Absolutely. We're glad you felt this was helpful, and
Yes.
we will work on getting together our next one.
Yeah, we'll definitely do another one. I think this was fun and easy, and hopefully this was a decent time for everybody. We tried to not do it in the middle of the week, so to give more people an opportunity, and because we're in Michigan, we can be like up to 3 hours ahead of other people, and that's why we chose like 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
so,
it was a
you
hard
know,
decision. We didn't know what time,
Yeah.
what date.
Just trying to give you guys more opportunity to get here. So thank you so much for joining us. This was
Absolutely.
great. I hope that you learned everything you had to. If you have any other questions, obviously you can always reach out to us. Call us Monday through Friday, 1-800-917-3155. You can email support@platinumskincare.com. If you're local, walk in the door. We're always here. I think that's about it.
I think that's it.
Yeah, chat, but Guru Group, of course, on Facebook.
Yes.
But yay, thanks so much, and thanks for everyone that helped us, get you guys into the room and all this fun stuff. My co-hosts, I appreciate you.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you guys. So we're going to be closing this down, and I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you.
Have a
Bye.
good day or evening now.
Yeah, right. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Enjoy your weekend.